I am paging Dr. Chanda.
I am the
Dr. Chanda.
And I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Paging Dr. Chanda podcast, all things related to the Black culture.
Revolt. The doctor in front of your name.
What's up, family? It is Dr. Chanda. Tune in for another episode of Paging Dr. Chanda. All you have to do is keep watching. But listen, if you're just watching from the outside, just peeking through the window, I need you to commit. Come all the way in the house, and I need you to subscribe, like, and shoot me a comment in the comment section. I love responding to all of your comments. I love listening and reading how much you guys enjoy the topics that I'm talking about. So yeah, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and join the tribe.
Stop scrolling for 1 second. This month, we are bringing back the psychology of Black women, the online class brought to you by yours truly, Dr. Chanda, licensed clinical psychologist. Y'all, I've been getting so many questions about why anxiety and depression presents differently in Black women. What do we do about it? How can we start to combat this? And what are some of the reasonings behind it? Listen, if you are a Black woman who has questions about anxiety and depression, it's something you experience or something your loved ones experience, or if you're a professional who works with Black women who experience anxiety and depression, I promise you this class is for you. Make sure that you sign up today.
And we are live. Welcome to the Paging Dr. Chanda podcast, where we talk about all things related to the Black culture, mental health, and we do it from a faith-based lens. Yo, I am so excited today because I have none other than my cousin, all the way from Detroit, Tony Jones.
Hey, what's up, sis?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm well.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing a lot better. Last week I told you about my situation. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But you know, it's good to be here and in good health. I got my taste back, spell back. You know, life is good.
Good.
Yeah. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, Tony.
Okay. Well, I'm from the Motown, Detroit, Michigan, and I'm an affirmation musician, and I create music that helps people talk to themselves better by putting affirmations to beats, but not just any beats. Y'all know the music y'all repeat all the time. I wanted to create, some production that is similar to the music that y'all keep on repeat, that y'all like playing in y'all car, like y'all like to play when y'all clean, you know what I'm saying? So lifestyle, mainstream type of feel. So that's what I do, how I show up in the world. I was a life coach for 6 years until I created my first affirmation album for my clients. And I never knew I would become a musician. I never knew that was in the cards for me, but let's say fall of 2020 is when I closed my coaching business down and I started to pursue music full time. So the rest is history. I'm just excited to be on this hell of a roller coaster ride, so that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, what got you to transition from being a life coach and helping people like individually and transitioning into music?
Yeah, well, I think like when I got in the studio and created the album, the way it felt was like, oh my God, am I supposed to do this? Like, that's the way it felt because it came out so naturally from the hooks, the melodies. Like, I didn't go to school for this. I mean, I grew up in church, which is like the school for all good musicians, right? Informal school. But it was how I felt in the studio. And then I would have to say the residual income. Like, I was just like, wait a minute. This is too easy. And so that was secondly. And I just think overall, it just felt natural. Like, it felt like, man, I would do this if I didn't get paid to do it, And so it just became one of those things where I was also seeking and curious to who I wanted to be in the world that meant something to me first, because much of my identity was wrapped around being valuable to other people. And so I was just like, I started asking myself questions like, what if there was no money that existed in the world? What if all world problems were solved? Who would I want to be then? and like there's nothing to advocate against, there's no world problems, what would I want to do then? What would I want to create then? And that was like affirmation music. I want to create things that mean something to me first, that solves my world first. And so I'm just grateful that I've gotten that type of divine clarity, because I was kind of burning out trying to solve world problems by, and so it brought some meaningfulness, but it wasn't fulfilling for me for a lot of things I was doing prior to affirmation music.
Woo. So. Wow. No, you starting already. You said so many things that I want to backtrack a bit. You said I was doing meaningful things, but it was also kind of getting you to a place of burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I feel like there are probably people listening who are burning themselves out from what they think is their purpose in the moment without realizing that this is the very thing that's wearing them thin.
Yeah, I think that, I think that so much I can say to that, because it's levels of understanding that, right? And you go through things in life to help you realize it, even though you may have understood it for years and years, but then you go through things that help you realize it on a level where you can't really teach it. It's like you have to go through your own life experience to realize what it really means to show up for your life, for it to be fulfilling to you first. So the best comprehensive way I can articulate it would be just like what makes you happy, what feels good, what's true to you. Like, we play so many roles and responsibilities and feel so much a demand from those roles and responsibilities. Like, if I'm an African American, I have to advocate for people. Like, because I'm a woman, I have to like all these labels. I'm American, I have to. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a Christian, I have to. If I'm a spiritual leader, I have to. But I was like, fuck them labels, for all of these, all of this. Like, because I'm a caring and loving person, I should care about everybody in the world, what's happening in Africa, what's happening in Detroit, like, my brain and nervous system was not designed for that type of stimulation. My sensory was not designed for that. So I feel like that ideology or philosophy, whatever you want to call it, because I'm still recalibrating to what this approach to life means to me. But I think it's being willing to get rid of all that, everything, and just get a narrow focus of like what matters to me. What does it look like for me to be my only client, the only world that I'm here to save? And it's not, it doesn't feel good, because to ask these type of deep questions and have this type of sacred curiosity, you may have to let go of identities and personalities about yourself that you've defined as your whole entire life. And so, but only it's a brave path. So I encourage people who are finding themselves asking questions about what's my purpose, who am I, what do I want to do, what's my passion, even in the middle of things that you really trying to do in your life and create for your life. Just be curious. Doesn't mean that you have to stop doing what you do. It doesn't mean that you have to quit your job or start a business. It just means be willing for there to be more here than what you already know about you.
She's preaching already, y'all. She's preaching. So Tony, like, when thinking about purpose and life's purpose, right? How does one know like exactly what their purpose is? And we talked about asking ourselves these hard questions, but like when we get to the answers, like how do we actually start to pursue our purpose?
Okay, I'm just gonna share what my journey has been. Okay, so my journey has been, I had to figure out, back in 2019, I had to figure out like my purpose outside of healing, building, earning, succeeding, and getting on to the better Tony Jones, right? I'm like, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Okay, we're gonna go a little deep, okay? So bear with me.
Let's do it.
But when you start peeling those things back, you realize your purpose here. I realized what my purpose is to learn and to remember and to enjoy life. Now, what am I learning? I'm learning how to be human. And what I mean by learning how to be human is how to explore all of these emotional ranges of experience that life brings, that people bring, that tragedy brings, that change brings, how to explore all those emotional ranges of being human through compassion, grace, and love. So when you are devastated, when you feel like you are destroyed, when you feel like you are in joy, you just got a successful situation that just happened. Well, no matter what the situation is or the emotion is, you're learning how to be still in it all. Because we're spiritual beings going through human experiences. This is all like flesh physical transportation of our thought energy, our emotional energy, and our conscious understanding of being spiritual beings. So we're here. This is like our school to learn how to express who we are as made in the image of God through this physical experience, and how to love the way that this thing is set up. It's set up just like how we have the morning and the evening. We have pain and pleasure, but what is going to be the sustainable, constant state of being? So we have to learn where that sweet spot is. And I feel like in my journey, it's by remembering my spirit. So daily, my responsibility is honoring my spirit. Spiritual care. The sacredness of who I am. If I deem my vulnerability as sacred, I deem my thinking as sacred, my emotions sacred, my generosity as sacred. And those are my spiritual things that make me feel like I have to honor that. I have to ritualize my life by saying, this is my divine nature of being. I have to honor that with some type of ritual and care daily. So just follow me here. My purpose is learning how to be human, but the way that I learn how to do that in a way that I sustain a state of being that's well is by remembering my spirit daily. There is no compromising that. The way that we don't compromise brushing our teeth because we don't want stinky breath. I've learned that when you realize who you truly are as a spiritual being, there's more compromising daily care to that. And then the third thing I said was enjoying life. We can make learning how to be human so much of our curriculum. We can make capitalism so much of our curriculum, how to do this, how to be this. We can make healing majority of our life curriculum. But at the end of the day, enjoy your life, enjoy it. Because when you are having fun, when you are on the path of being curious of like, what is joy to me? Like, what is bliss to me? Like, you're able to find walking equivalent to winning the lottery. You start to find a sensation that you think that you'll get from being put on into an industry you want to be successful at. You'll find that feeling in just eating a banana and breathing. Because it's all just emotional energy. It's all, it's all thought. Like, so you can get a call and paperwork that says, we're about to give you a $50,000 deal. It's not the deal that it's this emotional energy of you thinking about and feeling it, right? They could change their mind. That company could be shut down tomorrow, but where's happened to that feeling? That feeling can't be attached to external things. It has to be attached to, it has to be generated here. So I think in my journey, it's been a combination of going through this chaotic path, because it's not linear, chaotic path of accepting that I'm here to learn how to be human and remembering my spirit And no matter if I don't do any of that the right ideal way that I want to do it, like remembering my spirit and how to be human, at the end of the day, how do I enjoy the now? You know?
Yeah.
So that right there has been something I feel like, and I don't like saying things that's like a universal recipe for everybody, but for just studying philosophers, studying spiritual leaders and thought leaders, they always go back to like knowing yourself, knowing what you enjoy, knowing what your spirit needs, knowing what it looks like to have compassion for this human experience that has pain and that has pleasure and has all this duality, you know? And so that's how I found my purpose. And I feel like my purpose is just to feel good in the midst of hell and heaven.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I just wanted to point out to the listeners that, you know, when I asked Tony about purpose, you didn't go into like career. Well, you gotta, you know, you gotta find out if you're supposed to be in this career, or if you're like a teacher, educator, therapist, healer, or whatever. And you didn't go into like things that we produce or things that we do, but more so that soul care, being human, is tuning with the spirit. And so I love and appreciate that, because I think that capitalism has taught us that our purpose is within what we produce and
How we perform.
Yes.
And that's our identity to being on this planet. I mean, when you take a moment to breathe and think about, we are on a planet that is in outer space, that we are made up of billion cells, that we made up of the things that are in space. We're 80% water. When you just think about all of these things, it's like we're more than just our credit score. We're more than, you know, the success. Like we're more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is more than that. And so I do my best to articulate in comprehensive ways to enroll people to reimagining purpose, not based on their performance and productivity, but based on their beingness. Because, you know, your purpose can change. You know, what I mean by that is how your purpose is channeled can change. If my purpose is to feel good and to enjoy my life and learn what it means to be human here and care for my spirit, that can be transported, whether I'm a dentist, whether I'm an entrepreneur, whether I'm a teacher, whether I'm a singer or artist. My job in life, my purpose and mission and quest in life is to find what lights my soul up.
Yeah.
And how do I sustain a state of bliss no matter what changes?
Yeah.
No matter what changes. That's my quest, to take bliss into every space, label, change, season that I'm in. And I'm learning how to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that, you know, finding the capacity to experience pleasure in our day-to-day lives, I always tell the listeners when I'm ending the podcast, creating the emotions that we want to feel. Because that's basically what you're talking about, like that human experience and learning to like lean into it. I do think that as a people, I don't think we're trained to learn ourselves and to be humans, to experience life, as you put it.
Not at all. We're not trained, and we're we are trainable, programmable beings.
Yeah.
You notice when you study the brain, you're like, wait a minute, there's a whole database and computer of genes and of neurons. Like, this is freaky that I'm this, you know? And so when you think about renewing your mind or reimagining purpose, life, and identity, one thing that we must have is repetition. You know, it's why so many companies, billion-dollar companies, billion-dollar brands, billion-dollar celebrities, million-dollar celebrities, constantly, they've made it. What y'all need why y'all putting y'all message in front of me everywhere? Commercials, TV, ads. I mean, y'all hustling for my attention. Why? Because if you lose my attention, you lose the sustainability of your company and relevance, and you don't have my purchasing power anymore.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your own greatness, when it comes to the new thought of loving yourself or my purpose being defined by my being, you have to have messages that support that. It's almost like you have to have a advertising promotional campaign to your own brain consistently to train it to believe that these new thoughts. You can't just hear this podcast and be like, yeah. No, what are you going to feed this new thought, this new awareness on a daily basis? It is definitely a practice.
Yeah.
It's not about doing it perfectly. It's just about having a willing heart to expand your consciousness. It's called, and there's a term for that, neuroplasticity, and it's about mindset. It's about mindset, but it's a practice, because the way that our minds are set, you can't program it and you can't train it, because the way that our social structure and architecture is set up, we're trained to, for our identity just to be, we're workers. It's that's all we learn through K through 12 experience, is that we only work, we're only perform, we're only valid by what we produce. And now we're awakening to something else, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Yes. Because that mentality, like I'm only worth what I produce, and if I'm not producing, then I'm wasting time. That can lead you to a place of burnout. It can lead you to a place of not functioning in your God-given purpose. And I think that's a great place for me to kind of like segue into my next question, about this concept of rest and guilt associated with rest. So Tony, last week, I was under the weather, girl. We were supposed to do this podcast like a week ago. And I'm like, listen, sis, I can't do it today. Unfortunately, like my voice is going in and out. I don't have no smell. I don't got no taste. I feel horrible. And I think I apologized like 3 to 4 times in that text message, because that was a testament to how I was feeling. Like I felt so guilty for having to cancel clients, having to cancel podcast interviews and like other meetings that I had that week. Even when I was laying in bed, Tony, with like chills and sweating, I was like, wow, I could be getting so much work done right now while I'm sick, like laying in bed. And it was just like bananas how I allowed that type of mentality and even the guilt associated with it to kind of just impact my rest and my ability to rest and allow myself to recover without that guilt impacting it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And I just want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Rest. My thoughts on my relationship with rest has been, it's been very interesting to witness. I just came out of a very traumatizing dynamic and didn't know it was as traumatizing as it was till I got help.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And so for the past 3 months, I've been healing. In the past 3 weeks, I was in a healing space for 3 weeks. I just got back home on Saturday.
Okay.
And so watching myself be completely like rest was not actually an option. It was like I had to. And watching my ego and brain and just being the witness of what came up for me, like what came up for you. You're at your most vulnerable, but you're not constantly measuring yourself to the standard of how you should be, even though your body is in a vulnerable state. And so it made me realize just how much of this matrix program is like ingrained in us.
That's the word, ingrained.
It's so ingrained. It's very deeply ingrained. And if you're a melanated person, it's definitely ingrained that much more deeper, because our whole racial identity in this country started. I'm not talking about globally, but in this country, a lot of generations started with we do the most for the least.
Mm.
Like rest was not something that was our ancestors got to experience.
Right.
A lot of our ancestors, I won't say all of them, but a lot of them that were part of slavery. So we have this generational passed down of embodiment, this passed down embodiment of like identifying ourselves again through labor.
Mm.
And so when you are resting or you're in a vulnerable state,
Mm.
the program is chaotic inside you
Yes.
because it's not getting its normal.
Yeah.
It's what your nervous system does. It's what your ego does. It's what your brain, like this is what, and it's trying to figure out some normalcy in something that is very counter cultural to its way of operating.
Mm.
It's usually operating in high functioning stress, depression. It's used to you being on the go, is used to that, you know? And we all experienced in 2020, some of us in 2019, because there's a lot of people I know that experienced the pandemic way before 2020. And I'm talking about internally. They were set down and had, you know, and so I would say that my thoughts on rest is that and the fact that we just have to understand and know what we are.
Yeah.
You know that you have been programmed to be a laborer and to be a worker. When you rest, when you put yourself first, it's going to feel like you're anti-self.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's be gentle with yourself, be graceful to yourself. And I would say what's helped me is working with a trauma recovery coach that's trauma informed.
Mm-hmm.
So they can help you become and unlearn the trauma of being born in a country, born in a world that trains humanity to be laborers, workers, producers, and performers. That has nothing to do with our beingness, has nothing to do with our divine, definition of being expressed through our humanity. Like it has nothing to do with it. Like it's the last thing, like of why we're here, you know? And so it can feel very conflicting. Like it can also feel madness and chaotic when you start to entertain a new embodiment of how you approach your life through rest, through ease, through softness, through self-care, through self-love, self-priority with boundaries. It can feel very threatening to your normalcy because this is not the way we've been programmed, you know? So we have to forgive society. We have to forgive education. We have to forgive government. We have to forgive life for the way that it's set up and allow ourselves to be reborn to who we truly are as human beings.
Yeah.
You know?
And Tony, you said something so profound because you're mentioning like even when we want to make this transition, it'll feel like chaos.
Yes.
Like that internal chaos. And so yeah.
It does, because again, it's about knowing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing thyself is just knowing what you're passionate about, what your purpose is, what your business is, what your racial identity is, what your sexual identity. Like, nah, baby, nah. You put in that, and you're much more of a big deal than just your labels, okay, and identities. There's something more on an essence level, on a cosmic level that I sometimes can't believe is more than one of us here. Because it's like we're massive and magnificent. And so, but again, we're like computers. So, and computers can't even, they could never, right?
Yeah.
You're a computer that can't, it's just beyond to understanding. Like,
computers can never.
Like a computer can never compete, right? But technology can never compete. So we have to understand knowing thyself has more to do with just our surface level identities and labels. Knowing thyself is understanding how your gut works, how your heart works, how your blood works, how your nervous system works, like how your brain works. Like, because when you know thyself in that way, you can see what is capitalizing on you not knowing yourself in that way. You can see it. you can just see it and you be like, oh, y'all been winning off my ignorance. Y'all been winning on my being asleep. So it's like knowing and the thing of what's so beautiful about technology and internet is like you don't have to actually, pay $100,000 or pay $50,000 to learn about yourself and your anatomy and your biology and your chemistry. You can go on Pinterest. You can go on on Instagram. You can informally learn. You can get into a program that provides actual education. One of the websites is called Udemy.com. You can learn about your psychology there. Dr. Joe Dispenza is an amazing resource about learning how your mind works, how your body works, and how you can empower yourself with that type of information to redefine, reimagine who you truly are, and allow your life to, mirror that back at you, So I definitely, want to encourage people to learn about who you are, what you truly are, so you can understand the chaotic sensations you feel when you have new ideas of how to approach your life.
Tony, I know we're supposed to be helping the audience, but every time I talk to you, I feel like I'm in a therapy session. Like you're helping me.
Listen, I wrote something today. I'm gonna post that tonight, and girl, I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I realize I just want to be myself. Like, people ask me what I do for a living. Tony Jones. What's your goals in life, Tony Jones? Her piece. Like, I want that to be my resume.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I realize that whatever I do, I'm creating from that place. And I'm just sharing it with y'all. And however it resonates, that is the truth that you're supposed to receive. Not Tony does it this way, I'm going to do it her way. No, how it resonates and makes you feel, that truth that you feel from what I'm sharing, that is your truth. Not my truth being your truth. It's how it causes you to feel and be equipped to think for yourself, Yeah.
No, and we appreciate your insight and your transparency and the vulnerability, and your willingness to share your journey.
I think we need it.
Yeah.
I think we need it. I told somebody last week, like, I'm just seeing myself through the world's eyes, and I'm like, can't believe that authenticity is as glorified as it is. Can't believe vulnerability is something, or having a pure heart is something that people will try and prey upon. Like these, I'm like, these are things that I won't say I didn't value, but it was just like, it's just me being myself. Like, and that it can be a threat to people, And I feel like we need more of each other, especially if we have platforms. We need more of each other, humanizing our platforms, humanizing our brands and identities, and just say, post something that don't have nothing to do with your brand sometimes. Just be silly, share a memory, share vulnerability. Your Instagram and platform don't have to be your diary, but humanize yourself, because it's a lot of people that are trying to be kingdoms and legacies. And it's like, well, we really just need to be human. Some of the most followed people are the people that we can relate to on a human level.
Yeah.
We love to say they're so down to earth.
Yeah.
We feel like we can be ourselves. So I think that I won't even say I believe that we need to share this. And I'm actually watching myself with you, because I'm like, where I was 2 months ago, where I was last week, where I was, I'm just like, what is happening with me? How am I able to share this way when I was at ground zero?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, y'all, please, I beg you, be in your journey, heal.
Period.
You can set your boundaries.
Yeah.
Please set your boundaries. Please trust yourself, because if we don't have nothing else, we need to enjoy each other more. There's something euphoric about being able to say, I see you, and someone says, I see you too. This is my trauma response to things. Well, these are my trauma response to things. Let's set boundaries to protect this connection. And that only can happen is you're actually in your healing journey. That only can happen when you can be curious about how much help you actually need to be aware of your shit. You know what I'm saying? Because when you know yourself, you put yourself more in an equipped space to how to handle you and how to empower other people on how to handle you. You know, so I don't say this lightly when I ask everyone, I beg everyone to heal and get help, no matter what that looks like.
Because everybody needs it.
Because everybody needs it. I mean, I feel like if you're born in America,
which is traumatizing in itself.
It is. Like, where are the lies? Where are the lies? I mean, if you're on TikTok alone and get all the content that we're getting, you're like, what is the truth? Why is everything looking not real?
Yeah.
You know, and so it's very important to go within because it's the only way out of the madness of seeing so much and being tossed to and fro by all the news headlines and all the access to what's happening to everybody by just this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's too much. It's overloading us. And when we need stillness, we need privacy, we need solitude. I don't know what season any of your watchers, you know, listeners are on, but no matter what your season, you know, entertain daily stillness, entertain solitude so you can hear your own voice, hear your own truth, you know, and what you need and how you actually need help.
Yeah.
Because I knew this round that I just went through and what I'm going through, the type of healing that I needed help. Like it was no more knuckling it, you know, just like I got this, I'll get into this program, I get a therapist. Like it was like, oh, I need a team this round because I actually feel my heart closing. I actually feel myself at a weaker than I ever have, you know? And so knowing how you need help is by being able to witness and feel what's really going on in here. So people can hold quality space to guide you through, you know?
Yeah. You said it so profoundly. You said going within is the only way out.
It is. It's a famous phrase in the spiritual community, in the conscious community. Going within is the only way out.
Wow.
It really is.
Wow.
Because if you don't go within, you stay like I've been having some public success with my music. And I could pay attention to the noise of that and be like, I'm going to post all about it. I'm going to identify with this. I'm going to go live. I'm going to do it. But I know where I'm at. That can't be where my glory and throne is.
Yeah.
I can enjoy it and be like, this is so fun to see this message, this music, what I create go in the world in mainstream ways. But I'm going through it. And what I need is not to be identifying and seeking my validity by being out, you know. I need to go within and figure out what generates my peace, my solace, my bliss. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Because I'm rediscovering what fun looks like right now. I'm discovering how I want to be as a businesswoman. It's just a lot that I feel like I'm wandering, and I'm literally talking to my mom today. And I grew up hearing this all my life, but it is so real to me, like now more than ever, walking by faith and not by sight.
Period.
Like that is my logic right now. Like, and I feel like I'm forced to stay in that pocket. That's it. You know, and being in that space, like that being my state of being right now, I only know how to do this. Like I don't know how to say it cute and perfectly branded. Like I can just be a raw human being, and hopefully your listeners those who watch this, it resonates in a true space in their lives where they're like, I gotta get real with me.
Yeah.
I gotta get true with me, you know?
Yeah. And Tony, you brought up like going to this inner place to seek the healing. And you even mentioned like inner peace is like one of my goals, one of my life goals.
Yeah.
So how are you going about finding that inner peace and maintaining it?
Like, I'm closing my eyes so I don't cry because I'm really bored of crying right now, even though I encourage and I advocate for crying, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I just been crying so much these past 3 months. I'm just tired. I'm tired, you know. But inner peace and the way that I've been seeking it, embodying it, taking it day by day, asking myself, how do I feel? Allowing myself to be supported. That's another thing that's helped me. Presence. I want to say that's one of the top tier peace practices is being present. Like right now, the only thing that is real in my life is our exchange. I'm very present on what is happening, and I take my brain off the future. I take I take my brain off who's going to be listening to this. I take my brain off what happened yesterday, what happened this morning, I just focus on Chanda and me having this conversation. That is the only reality that's true in this moment. There's no harm happening to us right now. You look cute, I look cute. You got black hair and a braid. Like, I'm paying attention to the present moment. We're having a beautiful exchange of not only supporting each other, but we're creating something that can last and live online. Like, this is what's happening. And when you pay attention to right now in this moment, it's peace. It's peace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I've been doing. One thing that I've done before removing myself out of the traumatizing dynamic I was in. I was walking, going into nature, and I'm slowly going to get back into that. I have to do it slowly because it's just I feel like I'm in a new place right now with myself. So I'm just trying to be radically true with what feels good. I just got back to journaling because journaling felt heavy. All my self-care practices I felt like I didn't have access to my power. It was very thin. So I feel like being very true to yourself in the real moment and being present. You know, I remember my trauma recovery coach told me in May, she was just like, how do you want to take care of your inner child? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want to be here. Like, this life sucks. Like, why is it designed this way? Like, I was having what do they call it? Existential crisis.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what is this? You know? And she told me, calm me down. And I was like, I want to watch a childhood movie and have an ice cream cone. And I did it, and I felt good. Like, I was like, ooh, this is some relief from my nervous system.
Yes.
So I think if I said a lot, but I think the two things that I'm coming out in conclusion with that answer is be true to yourself in real time. Don't just do something because it's a prescription from others or what worked for other people. You never know what is it going. It may take a ride in your car. So be very true to yourself. Like, what does peace look like for me right now? Is it staying in bed? Is it responding to whatever the case may be? And the second thing is be as present as possible. You know, simple as what are name 3 colors that I see? What are 2 scents that I smell? You know, what am I seeing? Give it what Byron Katie calls it, first generational labels. Instead of looking at somebody or like, this is a man who is looking good. Like, instead of giving him all these labels, you be like, there's a man walking by me. You know, like being first generational label, this being very present. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes.
Yeah, but radically present has helped me, and being true to myself. Like if I haven't journaled, I just started journaling back in these past 3 months, and just being honest with yourself, you know. And I feel like I'm so repeating myself over and over again because it's like a cry out, because I know what it's like to feel like nothing is working for me, you know, and I'm sad about that. I'm this sad, you know, and so, or I'm down because I'm this down, and none of my tools are working. So I think presence helps in those moments to give your brain and your nervous system some relief, to not be in the future or in the past. And then secondly, being honest with what can work for you to generate peace and or access peace, because peace is always happening. Just being honest with yourself about that.
Listen, everything you're saying now, I need to like get back to that. My journaling and being present oriented, not focusing on the things I have to do tomorrow or what have you. Because before the podcast, I'm like, I'm just anxious about thinking about tomorrow. I got so much to do. And it makes sense to what you're saying, because when we're focused on like the past or even the future, that does nothing but exacerbates our anxiety.
Yeah. It does. It does. I could literally think about everything that has happened this year and all the things I need to do for tomorrow and this year, and I immediately go and be in anxiety. But when I just and be like, what can I be grateful for? I'm grateful that I have access to water. I'm grateful that I live in a country where I can decide whether I want to go to farmers market or Whole Foods, or you know what I'm saying? I have access to food just like this. You know what I'm saying? I can be grateful. I can practice gratitude for the now, no matter how my mind wants to focus on the past and the future and what I should be doing now about that. You know, I can find gratitude in just not being in the hospital, you know, and I didn't get a call that somebody passed away today. Like, you know, it's just these little things. So I like how you put it about being present oriented. You know, I think that's what you said. Like orienting your life around presence it's a hell of a present. I mean, it's a hell of a practice, you know, but you start to feel the relief instantaneously when you're just like, you take that breath and you're just like, okay, I don't feel my best, but what can I be grateful in this moment? And even if it's just an inch of pocket or space that you can create while you're in crisis, or while you're in just, you know, have somebody to help you create an inch of space in the midst of the chaotic emotions or situation, it helps. It may be really small, but it helps just to create that expansive space in the midst of your ego and your nervous system being hijacked by a situation or an external stimulant.
Listen, we're loving all of these nuggets. That's actually a practice I'm going to start implementing. I love that you shared that and giving the free advice. Let us know how we can get like the tea and like we want to live our lives like you and just being focused on healing. So like, are you offering anything right now that we can be a part of?
Yeah, so I have a membership group. It's in my link on Instagram. You can also go to my website, iamtonyjones.com. Next year, I plan on opening up to men. Right now, it's for women right now, but I definitely feel called to go into the unisex space next year and moving forward. But right now, it's for women, and it's basically a self-taught community. You know, the other piece is I will be performing in the membership space this fall, so it'll be more of it'll be a membership of where I perform. There'll be private concerts virtually. You know, there'll be discounts to my events and things like that. But most importantly, I do affirmation meditations weekly, and then live affirmation meditations, and I have some pre-recorded content about self-talk and inner dialogue. But I will say that for May, June, and July, I've been off. And it was amazing permission that my members gave me. I just told them I got it, y'all. But what I will do is treat for the next 3 months this space like y'all got a first row seat of watching me heal. So every week I did a journal entry for them. I told them what I was doing, what I was listening to, who my therapist is right now. They went through the journey, May, June, and July, and they get to see in real time. It ain't just no testimony from 5-10 years ago. And like, look how I healed. No, it's like, this is what I did this year, y'all. This is what happened to me. I didn't share all the juicy details because it just I want to spare that right now, but eventually maybe in a book. But for the most part, they know like what I've been through. They know how they've watched me just cry and just share, and what I've been going through in real time and how I've been proactive with taking accountability to my healing from it all. So check out the membership space if it feels true. You want to get closer to the message and how I practice and see what resonates, in your own journey.
That's awesome. And your music is available on all platforms, right?
It's on all platforms. You can purchase it on Amazon. You can purchase it on iTunes, but it's on YouTube, Tidal. You can stream it everywhere.
Yeah, I think I have all of your albums. Did you come out with something after?
So everybody's not. Sometimes people aren't aware of all my music. So I have 5 albums out, and I have 1 mixtape that's just on YouTube. So out of those 5, I have a mixtape that's on YouTube because it's using other people's beats like Pooh Shiesty, Future, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Aretha Franklin. Like it's called the Mental Health Mixtape. Get Your Mind Right.
Yeah.
So check that out on YouTube. And then the rest of the albums are on all streaming platforms. Affirmations for the Grown Ass Woman, Affirmations and Chill, I See Me Mantras, and Me Versus Every Me, Affirmations of Self-Love.
I love your affirmation albums. I really do. My clients be here like, have you ever heard of Tony Jones? I'm like, yes, that's my cousin.
My cousin.
My cousin. And so my last question to you, like you have been, like your sounds have been blowing up on TikTok. Like, how does that feel? Like knowing that so many different people, so many different just users on that platform are becoming aware of like some of the mantras that you created and implementing them into their lives.
One thing my therapist said in May, well, she was, because I've worked with 3 therapists these past 3 months. Like it was that intense, y'all. But one of them was like, she was like, you need to read your comments every day. Like the YouTube comments, the Instagram comments, the TikTok comments, just listen. And I just be like,
wow.
I don't know if I'll ever get used to it. Because when you have been yourself all this time, and to see how people are using it as a tool to cope in life it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just, and people get popular with doing a lot of things, and to be popular based on me just being myself and from healing myself, it's a paradigm shift for the way that I can share how to approach life differently, that there is another way to being in full expression of living a fulfilled life. That we don't have to just do it the way that education taught us. We don't have to do it just the way social media teaches us. We don't have to do it any way that anybody else has done it. You can literally go within and trust spirit, and trust that there's a divine intelligence guiding you. The more you're in integrity with you.
Yes.
Yes. Because none of what I'm experiencing was on my vision board, but it's better than my vision board.
I love it.
So it's very I can't say it's humbling. It's empowering. It's not humbling at all. What's humbling is that I'm still a student to my music. I'm still a student. I'd be like, yeah, I wrote energy budget, but why wasn't I practicing that with this person at all? Right. Okay, Tony. Right. It's like that's what humbles me. But watching people spread the message on TikTok, my Take Up Spaces was just the opening song for the Shy season 5, episode 4. So yeah,
Congrats.
yeah. So if you watch the Shy, check it out. That having that music placement is just like, y'all help me pay my bills. Y'all helping me pay my bills and get a bag.
Come on, get to the bag, like
let's not forget about the bag now. We're not forgetting about the bag. We're just exploring different ways, more evolved ways to get to the bag.
Yeah,
recognizing your energy is the bag.
Yep.
Like, period.
Yeah.
And the most powerful people, the most wealthiest people know that. They know that. So
that reminds me of the scripture that your gifts will make room for you. Like, whatever you're gifted with, that's the thing that's going to make room for you.
It's gonna make all the room for you, and you are going to really, the question of the century, the question of your life will become, how easy is life really? Was I really taught that life is hard? You start to just side-eye that. You be like, I ain't ready to believe life is easy, but I wonder how easy it can get. So definitely a paradigm shift to be getting to the bag without even trying.
Come on. Come on. Listen, Tony, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Every time I talk to you, I feel like I'm in like a therapy session. Your spirit is so mellow and calming.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can you remind the people of where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at I am Tony Jones. And if you want to stay updated on my upcoming performances, you can go to iamtonyjones.com. But I'll post it everywhere. And then on Facebook, I am Tony Jones as well. So, and then on Twitter, I am Tony Jones. You can find me all online
everywhere.
And then I have a membership group that's in the link and on the link in my bio on Instagram and Twitter and on my website. So tap in.
Love it. Yeah. So as soon as can you text me the link to that, your membership? So everyone who's listening to this, I'll put the link to all of the things that she mentioned inside of the show description so that you can have access to that there. I want to thank you again for coming. You're always welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And so all the listeners out there, thank you for listening to us. And don't forget, you have the power to create the emotions that you want to experience. All right, y'all.